Good evening. Good evening, colleagues, friends, citizens of Prince George's County. Welcome to the CEO's budget presentation. I'm Segun Eubanks, Chair of the Prince George's County Board of Education. You may note this is my board colleagues sitting in front of me today rather than in their normal place at the dais. We do this evening because this is not a formal board meeting. We won't be taking any formal action. We're here along with our friends in the public, our colleagues throughout Prince George's County Public Schools to hear the CEO's budget presentation for the fiscal year 17-18 school year, where this is one of the most significant and important responsibilities of both a CEO and a Board of Education to take the valuable and hard-earned dollars that our citizens give to us each year and to spend them as best we can to advance learning and to meet the goals of Prince George's County Public Schools. And our CEO will talk a lot more about that. I'll talk just briefly about what our role is as a board. It is a thorough process. Let me say this before I go any further. I know that we're very excited. If folks haven't seen the brand new Prince George's County Public School website, please go back to the website and look at it. Thank you to Raven Hill, our Director of Communications, and to the whole team. If you know the old website and you've seen the new one, we're very excited about the changes. But as you know, no matter how good it is, sometimes you have a glitch. And so unfortunately, there was a glitch that allowed at least one young lady, and maybe a couple other folks out here, to register to speak for tonight's meeting. But so there are at least 2 or 3 folks. So I will ask you to please beg our forgiveness. This is not a formal meeting, but there will be at least 3 additional opportunities that I'll share with you now that we want our public. The process is, I'll talk a little about the process. Today, the CEO introduces his budget to us, to the board, and to the public. It gives us time to digest that material. We have a very big online book that will come online, as well as some really good summaries that will kind of share in brief what the budget will allow you to do. And then we have 3 opportunities, as well as some informal ones, for both the board to have work sessions to talk amongst ourselves, to ask the administration a set of deep and probing questions about what and how they've done in this budget and why they've done it. And following each one of those 3 board work sessions, there will be 3 public hearings where we would ask you to take a look, dive into that budget, listen to or come to the board work sessions, and then give us your own feedback. What did we get right? What did we get wrong? And what's missing? So there's the opportunities to do that on January 24th. From 5 to 7 p.m. will be the board work session, which will be a public meeting in which everyone is invited to. And then 7 to 9 p.m. will be a public hearing. That same process will be repeated on Tuesday, January 31st. And then again on February 7th, 2017. Again, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. work session, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Public session. Even after that, and I don't have those dates in front of me, the process that we go through as a board, we go through that process. Any changes or modifications that may be made to the budget through that process, we will vote on as a board, and we will pass that budget on to the county executive. The county executive is responsible for the entire budget of the county government, including the school system. He looks at our budget requests. He looks at the budget requests from public safety. He looks at it from the libraries, from community college, from all of the other parts of government. He looks at the pot of money that he has available to him in those requests, and then he will come back to us with a budget number that we hope and pray will be pretty darn close to the one we ask him for. But if it's not, we go through a second process where we will also have board work sessions and public hearings of what we call reconciliation. So what we will then balance what we asked for with what we actually have, and then vote on a final budget by a date in June that escapes me at the process. But before June 30th. So this is a 6-month process in which we hope that every single one of you will be thoroughly engaged with. But the most important part is to start off by saying, what is it that we plan? What is the CEO going to offer us today to help to move this great system forward into increased greatness? And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my friend and colleague and the CEO of Prince George's County Public Schools, Dr. Kevin Maxwell. As he's walking up, those of you, raise your hand again. I want to get the information for the people who registered so I can make sure that you get an opportunity to speak at a future meeting and to get a formal apology from the board.
Good evening. I'd like to start tonight's presentation by first expressing appreciation to the parents, students, and employees of our Prince George's County Public Schools community. You are the heart of our work and the reason why I remain committed and inspired. I would also like to thank our Board of Education members. Your partnership is essential to creating bright futures for every student in this school system. With only 2 weeks remaining in 2016, it is a fitting time to reflect on this year. We've had moments of excitement and optimism and moments of uncertainty and disappointment. We faced sobering truths and enjoyed hard-fought successes. And through it all, we've continued charting our course, moving toward greatness. Greatness can be found in our classrooms, hallways, and bus lots. We see it in O.C. Banks, who just 4 years after singing at his own graduation from Northwestern High School, now helps students find their own voice as a music teacher at Rosaryville Elementary School. It's found in Renita Smith, who is now nationally known for her heroism in rescuing students from a burning school bus. And it can be found in Buck Lodge Middle School teacher Elizabeth Lazaro, who received President Obama's Award for Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching. We are fortunate to have Ms. Lazaro here with us tonight. Ms. Lazaro, would you please stand for a moment and be recognized? Ms. Lazaro, Ms. Smith, and Mr. Banks are only a few of the many Prince George's County Public School employees who exemplify our motto, great by choice. Yet, in working through the challenges of this past year, our motto has taken on an added urgency. When I consider the lessons of 2016, one rises to the top. A quote attributed to Albert Einstein, "In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity." The proposed budget for the 2018 fiscal year takes those opportunities into account. Budgets provide a blueprint for investing in opportunities, both planned and unforeseen. The proposed budget for fiscal year 2018 is $2.05 billion. This is a 6.4% increase over fiscal year 2017 revised budget. The proposal includes a $33.8 million increased contribution from the state and a $119.5 million increased contribution from the county. This spending proposal invests $122.6 million in the 5 pillars of our strategic plan, our roadmap to greatness: academic excellence, high-performing workforce, safe and supporting environments, family and community engagement, and organizational effectiveness. These 5 focus areas ground us and guide us towards our overarching goal: outstanding academic achievement for all. Like stars in the sky, these pillars speak to our school system's boundless potential. At its core, PGCPS is a community of schools. But as the second largest in Maryland, Prince George's County is an extremely large community. Given our size, reach, and diversity, we have an ever-expanding list of needs to fulfill at all levels of the school system. This year, our enrollment is up nearly 1,800 students for a total of more than 131,000 students. By any measure, our enrollment growth over the past 4 years reflects growing confidence in the Prince George's County Public Schools. More students are graduating from our schools with diplomas that prepare them for higher education and certifications that allow them to enter the workforce immediately. More parents are choosing Prince George's County Public Schools for academic options that offer innovation, rigor, and relevance to 21st century career opportunities. More educators are finding that our school system is not only the place to start their careers, it is a school system to remain in over the long term. This $2.05 billion budget proposal seeks to balance our mandatory and fixed costs with program continuations, expansions, and investments. We are focused on areas of greatest need and those with the highest potential for future success. Since 2013, we've made critical investments in early childhood education, language immersion programs, our arts integration initiative, as well as literacy and math supports. I am pleased to see those investments paying off in ways that I will detail later in this presentation. Before I start, however, I would like to show a video that highlights our language immersion program.
Ni hao, 我是 Alejandra， 我6岁，我喜欢中文书。
Bonjour, je m'appelle Sion. J'aime cette école parce que c'est un habit.
Favorito parte de la escuela es mi maestra. 我叫 Phoenix， 我喜欢冰淇淋和中文。
Et je aime Maya et je veux French immersion parce que les personnes autour de la monde se viennent ici et étudier.
A mí me gusta la inmersión porque a mí me gusta aprender diferentes lenguajes.
The goal of Prince George's County immersion programs is for students to be biliterate, bilingual, bicultural global citizens.
We have over 100 different languages spoken by students in our schools. It's an asset if you speak a second language, and the only people that speak second languages shouldn't be people who come here from other places.
Research has shown that students develop a lot better cognitively when they have dual language opportunities. And this program is basically by default an international school. We have teachers here from all over the planet, Belgium, France itself, Denmark, Senegal, everywhere.
Kids learn another language, easier when they're young. So what we want to do in, immersion programs, or we want to catch that window before it closes and get another language into the kids' mind. So what they do actually when they learn the language, they are speaking two languages, thinking in two different, languages.
Cuando va directo, ¿qué hace? Va, ¿qué? Directo y podemos hacer puppets.
In a dream world, I would love to see an immersion high school where we are offering immersion classes that starts in kindergarten and goes through K-12 so that we can truly have bilingual and biliterate students in all areas of education.
I think that we have a large group of parents who understand that their children are better off learning a second language, if not a third and a fourth language, because of the diversity of our world.
If I had to convince a parent to put their child in immersion, my #1 reason would be so they can learn something that you can't teach them. I'm an English-speaking mother. I know math, I know history, I know English. I can't teach my children Spanish. So in putting them in this program, I took the chance to give them something that I could not give them myself.
As a parent, we have a responsibility to give our kids the very best. And if we have the opportunities, particularly that are offered at a local level, to open our kids up and expose them to all sorts of possibilities here nationally, but from an international perspective, we owe that to our kids to do.
When I get home, I want to tell my mom and dad something in Chinese, and they say, "What are you talking about, Alejandra?" And then I tell them in English and Spanish, and then they understand me.
Thank you. Students like Alejandra show why budgets are more than just numbers on a page or abstract dollars. I am pleased that our Emmy Award-winning real-life student, Alejandra, her teacher, Mandy Tang, and her principal, Emmett Hendershot from Paint Branch Elementary School could join us here tonight. Alejandra, Ms. Tang, Mr. Hendershot, please stand. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you, Alejandra, for bringing your parents with you. I would also like to recognize a few other stars in our video who have joined us tonight. Immersion Instructional Specialist Carmen Henninger is here. Zori Kennan, principal of Maya Angelou French Immersion School. Tina McRae Phelps, Maya Angelou French Immersion PTA president. Sean Hintz, principal of Phyllis E. Williams Spanish Immersion School. And Christina Wren, president of the school's parent-teacher organization. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Here's how the proposed fiscal year 2018 budget seeks to support all of our students through our 5 focus areas. The first focus area, academic excellence, addresses our early learners and struggling learners and invests in innovation. Our elementary Spanish language immersion programs, like the one showcased in the video, will rise to the next grade level as we look towards creating the natural next phase of this extremely popular program, middle school language immersion. In response to parent demand for program continuity and more secondary immersion programs, I will create a study group of staff and parents to provide recommendations for future programmatic and budget options. This budget will also launch the first of 2 Pathways in Technology Early College High Schools in partnership with our business community and higher education. Supported by the Maryland General Assembly Planning Grant, our PTech high schools position Prince George's County as an innovator in providing outstanding secondary school options for students and families. Additionally, registration in our dual enrollment programs has more than doubled over the past 2 years. We are pleased to continue offering 21st century programs to meet that demand, particularly as we launch our 3D Scholars Program with partners at Prince George's Community College and the University of Maryland University College, offering students a bachelor's degree for under $10,000. This budget also seeks to continue our commitment to expanding full-day pre-kindergarten programs by adding 350 seats. As I mentioned earlier, challenges yield opportunities. The loss of our federal Head Start grant provided an opportunity to accelerate our commitment to full-day pre-kindergarten programs. In 2013, we had only 8 programs that enrolled 350 students. This proposal will give up to 1,880 students access to full-day pre-kindergarten. I am proud that we are giving more students and families access to early learning programs. In the coming years, we will increase our focus on pairing broader access to full-day pre-K with higher quality across the school system. Along with our early learners, we want to give more supports to our struggling learners in the core skills of reading and mathematics. Literacy and numeracy form the gateway to education, and our school system uses diverse methods to meet students' individual needs. This budget proposal seeks to build on those methods, in part by increasing the number of reading and math coaches at high-need schools. By equipping teachers with best practice instructional strategies, we bolster students' foundation for academic success. This also complements our system-wide focus on literacy, which is showing student success, particularly among African American students. At the same time, we want to make sure that our brightest students also have the best opportunities. This budget proposes to expand our middle school talented and gifted seats to accommodate 60 additional students. Moving on to our second area of focus, high-performing workforce, our proposal seeks to ensure effective recruitment and retention strategies. We want to improve compensation and working conditions for all employees, provide better mentoring for new teachers, allow more master teachers to work with their peers to improve instruction, and lay the groundwork for more students to consider education as a career. We are setting aside $53 million in salary enhancements for all employees. While this must be negotiated with our labor partners, I want our employees to know that we value their contributions to improving the lives of our students each and every day. We also want to do more for our National Board certified teachers, the gold standard for educators. This budget proposes matching our stipend with the state's increased stipend. In addition, we would like to increase the number of mentor teachers and enhance our peer assistance and review teacher program. Both of these efforts support a statewide bill that was passed last year to improve teacher retention. Looking toward the next generation of educators, we want to replicate the success of our Academy of Health Sciences by creating an academy for future educators that provides them with the same benefit of graduating from high school and Prince George's Community College on the same day. This program would expose students to opportunities in the field of education and provide an incentive to return to the community of schools that raised them. We see this as a key tool in producing educators in our ranks that reflect the diversity of our student body and community and reversing the shrinking pipeline of educators both statewide and nationally. As many of you are well aware, this year's challenges have tested our spirit as a system and at times our resolve. I am proud that we have responded head-on to these challenges and sought urgent solutions. Tonight, I'd like to show my appreciation in a more tangible way. I have directed our Benefits and Payroll Office to reimburse this month's premiums to all employees enrolled in our health insurance plan. This means if you are on our medical, dental, prescription, or vision plan, you will be fully reimbursed for the entire month of December in your December 30th check. We appreciate you, and I appreciate you. Our third focus area, safe and supportive environments, calls for investing $1.7 million in our Student Safety Action Plan. These funds will go towards staff training and screening procedures, provide additional resources to better track volunteers as they move through our schools, and add more school psychologists, guidance counselors, and pupil personnel workers. We also propose fully funding parent background checks for families with low incomes. Additionally, we are investing significant funds to not only keep students safe, but to empower them. Our restorative justice pilot with the Prince George's County Educators Association builds on the national model of effective student-led peer mediation. It seeks to reduce suspensions and expulsions and the lost class time that both bring. In the area of high school sports safety, we see a real need for athletic trainers. With the increase in concussions and serious sports-related injuries, we need qualified personnel on the sidelines and benches to treat student athletes immediately. As the Dr. Henry A. Wise Jr. football team was winning its second straight championship last Friday night, a player on the other team sustained a serious head injury and was flown to a shock trauma center. This incident further emphasizes the need for experienced trainers on the sidelines. Our fourth focus area, family and community engagement. The proposed budget continues to push towards meaningful engagement with parents, guardians, and members of our school communities. Over the past 3 years, we have added resources to bolster our work in this area, culminating with the launch this fall of our successful Family Institute. This trains parents in being more effective advocates for their children and helps them navigate our vast system. On a day-to-day basis, however, we have added parent engagement assistants in schools and enhanced the visibility of our Ombudsman office to help parents understand how to resolve school and system-wide issues. Still, I consistently hear from parents, administrators, and teachers about persistent communication gaps between schools and homes. This budget proposes giving schools a new parent, community, school staff communications tool that we hope to pilot by January. The tool leverages familiar technology to increase communication between parents, families, and schools in real time. Finally, our fifth focus area, organizational effectiveness, enhances our operational capacity, specifically in transportation and maintenance. Our transportation department has been challenged this year by a shortage of bus drivers and call center staff. We need additional drivers on our hardest to staff routes and more staff to cover the volume of calls, particularly at the beginning of the school year. Parents should not have to worry about their child getting picked up and dropped off, nor should they encounter unreasonable delays in getting answers to questions about their child's route. At the same time, we are working to address our drivers' working conditions, such as improving the infrastructure of our bus lots through our capital budget request. For our Building Services Department, we are seeking to correct a long-standing funding imbalance for supplies and contracted services. This year's budget request seeks increased funding to make sure that our more than 200 schools, centers, and offices are properly maintained. More than half of our buildings are over 40 years old, and our support staff and labor partners have consistently raised concerns about the need for additional resources to maintain these aging buildings. I agree, and I agree that we must do more. However, this proposal still provides only a fraction of what is needed to address one of our greatest needs. Over the next few months, I look forward to working with the community and the Board of Education to finalize our budget proposal. In closing, I'd like to remind everyone gathered here tonight that our spending choices reflect our highest ambitions for our students and clear opportunities for our families. But our funding level also reflects the priority this county places on improving its education system. When we invest in our students, we move them towards greatness. Our legacy of successful alumni, which include many people in this room, is evidence of that. We are proof of the transformative power of education. As they walk the halls in our schools, our students may be only steps away from greatness. At times, they may encounter difficulties, and during those times, we must push them towards opportunities. Take, for instance, one young woman who's with us tonight, Ashley Jones Quadu, a 2014 graduate of Dr. Henry A. Wise Junior High School. I want you to remember her name because I have no doubt you will hear it again in the future. Ashley Jones Quadu. Remember that name. During her years at Wise High School, Ashley faced challenging family circumstances that threatened to disrupt her education. She is the oldest of 8 children. She did not always have a way to and from school, but Ashley had a clear vision for her future. She wanted to go to college. Her principal, Carletta Marrow, and other Wise faculty and staff helped to steer her toward opportunities that kept her on the path to graduation. Teachers encouraged her to take advanced placement courses to give her a glimpse of college rigor. They encouraged her interests in extracurricular activities. As she saw how hard they were working for her, she doubled down on her studies. She seized the opportunities that came her way despite her family circumstances. She kept her focus on going to college. Today, Ashley is in her 3rd year at Bucknell University, which she's attending on a full 4-year scholarship from the Posse Foundation. She is majoring in international relations and hopes to enter the Foreign Service, where she will then work her way up to becoming an ambassador. Ashley, we are so happy that you are here tonight so that you can see just how proud we are of you. Ashley, would you please stand? Our students teach us many different lessons: to fight for our dreams, to be bold in our decisions, to demand nothing less than greatness from ourselves and from each other. When we invest in Ashley, in Alejandra, in their futures, and in all students' futures across this district, we make Prince George's County Public Schools all that it can be and all that they need us to be: great by choice. Thank you to all of you for coming tonight, and I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, folks. The budget will be posted online by tomorrow. Take a look at it. You heard the dates. Please come back again. Thank you.